Hey, what's up you guys? You're watching Team APS, and in today's video we're going to be discussing, comparing, and attempting to order the top 5 Yu-Gi-Oh! Villains. And at the end of the video we'd also like to hear what you guys think in the comments.
So yeah, we have to make it very clear that this is only from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, so not GX, not Arc 5, none of those. We'll get to some of those later.
And we thought we would try and make this list of the most evil to the least, or least evil to the most evil, but that's a little too broad. And so we're trying to focus on more of like who was a more like complete villain, like they have more sides to them than just one, you know, not bland.
All right, so we're gonna start with our number 5, which we agreed was Gozaburo Kaiba.
Yeah.
So basically a little bit of background, or at least from what I know and from what I remember watching, he's Kaiba's, would that be like stepfather?
Stepfather.
Yeah.
Adopted.
Kaiba's like adoptive father or whatever. And the reason why he's evil, of course, is because, you know, he does a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
Like he tortures Kaiba.
He's a businessman.
He's an evil businessman. He puts Kaiba through hell in his childhood. But then like during the kind of present day thing, it's kind of more like he's in the digital realm and
then you get kind of a pedophilic vibe off of him, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he was very much, I mean, you know, he was kind of just evil, but I'd say that he wasn't particularly convincing.
Yeah, I mean, he was a character type, not really anything besides that. He was the stubborn father figure who's
expected too much of his, like,
his son, the plural.
Yeah, ruthless, kind of businessman.
There's not really any, any positive features of the guy.
He wasn't really trying to like take over the world though. He was just more like he's kind of trying to live forever in a way.
So lack of ambition.
Yeah, I just want to kill my adopted son. That's it.
Yeah. Now we did consider Noah and we did consider the Big Five in his place, so we kind of figured that, you know,
he was the overarching villain.
Yeah, he was operating behind.
Even though
the
Big Five were more interesting than he was.
Well, maybe as a group.
As a group, but not as individual people.
They had a penguin.
So.
And then, like, you know, Noah was cool, but he's still a kid, so he's still just kind of, like, misguided, not really...
Yeah, he was just an angry kid. That's all
Wasn't
he was.
Wasn't he dead?
Yeah, well...
He was something.
His mind was preserved, but yeah, he was dead.
I'd be pretty pissed, too, if I were dead.
Yeah.
So our number 5 is Gozaburo Kaiba. We think that's a fitting spot for him.
He can stay there.
Number 4, who wants to...
Okay, so number 4 was Darts. You know Darts from that horrible season that
I will fight
no
you.
one watched.
I will fight you on.
You liked the Orichalcus season?
I liked the Orichalcus.
Explain Darts a bit to us.
Okay, well I don't know too much about him. I know he was like the king of Atlantis, and he was turned evil by the seal of Orichalcus, the true villain. I guess the seal, which the seal wasn't dear God. The seal wasn't. I mean, was it a thing? Was it a person? I don't remember.
It was like a force, I think.
Because somehow it can make people go evil, and I never truly understood how that works.
So it was a religion.
It was a way to empower people, but it was a dark power.
But I think what was cool about Darts, like take the seal aside, was he manipulated people into turning against the ones they loved most. And you know, no other villains really did that. He turned Yugi's friends against each other.
Well, you know, just the one, right?
I mean, Joey and Mai.
But he kind of was able to control people in general. I mean, wasn't that sort of
I mean, the seal kind of
one of the recurring things? He used that big Leviathan dragon.
Oh yeah, the serpent.
And he had 2 rows of monsters, and we're all still waiting to be able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
We finally
got
got
the
the seal.
broken signature card.
We finally get the seal, and it wasn't there.
No 2 rows of monsters.
So I feel like the reason why he's better than Gozaburo because he's kind of more of an entire arc villain.
And he's ambitious.
And he's got a little bit more ambition, a little bit more like reasoning behind things. But in terms of like, we just didn't rank him any higher than that because I guess he's very...
He's a guy being controlled.
Yeah. It kind of comes down to that.
Because I mean, it's not his will, it's the seal. Ooh. Whatever that means.
Alright, so our number 3 is Yami-Marik. And at first I'd argued that I wanted him like higher up on the list, but for reasons we have him at number 3.
Yeah, we thought about it. In the end, Yami-Marik was evil and crazy, but wasn't he just evil and crazy?
Right, yeah. I mean, I definitely think, you know, my favorite part about the character was just that he was like just, you know, kind of knucking butts. Like he he didn't really care about like hurting people. He didn't really like have any weaknesses you could exploit. Like, you know, where some of the other sort of villains, they, you know, like they were fighting for something, or they were being controlled themselves, or like they were maybe just misguided. He was just legitimately evil. He didn't care. He wanted to send everyone to the Shadow Realm, and he just wanted to kill the Pharaoh. I mean, like, there really wasn't much more to it. He didn't have any like side agendas. He didn't work with anyone else, and so in that way, he was kind of an interesting character.
He had veins like he was going Super Saiyan 3.
I did like that as it went on, they tried to make, like, he got veinier and, like, you know,
Like,
more
Bigger
evil.
on it, like on average.
he just looked
larger
more
person.
scary as he got more crazy, which was a good progression.
Yeah, and we didn't pick Marik because, well, let's face it,
Marik wasn't evil. He was just a guy being controlled by a real evil character.
Marik was a member of Yugi's boy band.
Yeah. Marik was very whiny and it's just, you know.
Yeah, because you saw at the end,
I'll
he was
get
like,
what I deserve.
at the end he was like, I'm going home with the Shizu and stuff. It's like, oh god, would you ever have a backbone in your life?
Yeah, he's very much like this kind
I
of.
was crying over people. Odeon!
Odeon!
You're like a brother to me.
So I didn't like Marik as much. Yami-Marik was more like convincing.
Yeah, Yami-Marik stabbed his father.
That's true. No, he sent him to the Shadow Realm. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Whoops.
The PC version.
Alright, so what's number 2?
I forgot.
It's Pegasus.
Number 2 is Pegasus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we picked Pegasus because someone else can explain. I've explained all this.
Alright, well, now that I remember, Pegasus is our number 2 because he's actually a really well-rounded villain. We spent a lot of time with him, and he was kind of mysterious in that you didn't know what was gonna do next. You didn't know what his end game was. You didn't even know we couldn't figure out what he was planning.
What I liked about him too was that, kind of like what you were mentioning, is you didn't find out, like, for once, you didn't find out his agenda until after he'd been defeated. So, like, whereas with some of the other villains, you knew what they were, like, why they were doing what they were doing before the end of the arc. But with, like, Pegasus, you just kind of knew he was just this sort of rich, kind of weird guy who was, like, evil, but you didn't know why he was evil or anything until after he got defeated. And then you found out he was doing it for his lost love and blah, blah, blah.
He also had a pedophilic vibe.
Well, that's what we like to say about him anyway.
He went to like more, like, he was more just like kind of cunning in a simple way. So instead of, like, you know, mind controlling people, he just sort of blackmailed and like kidnapped and, you know,
Yeah, just old school gangster type stuff.
He was ruthless in a human way. Like, he'd
Right,
have
yeah.
to, like, blow up countries or crap with magic powers. He had magic powers, of course. But,
Yeah.
like, he hit them on a more normal level.
just kind of trying to break people rather than, like, you know.
His hired muscle croquet.
Yeah, I mean, it was very
My
like.
name's Croquet anyway. Croquet should have made this list.
Yeah.
And his hair.
Yeah, no, that was the other guy. That was just the guy with the hair. Croquet was like the.
Wait, there was 2 different guys?
Yeah, Croquet was the guy who was just like kind of like, this is Master Pegasus' castle, and then like the guy with the hair was like, attention, duelists. There were 2 different.
I get them confused.
Yeah, but Pegasus, I think, was definitely kind of one of the more like humanistic villains, I guess. He wasn't quite so just destroy the world. It was just more like get what he wanted through kind of
Arcane.
whatever means.
Yeah.
And you know he used like his great magic powers to cheat at a card game.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the best villain for a reason.
But our number 1 villain is,
Very controversial.
and we don't even know how to exactly tell you who he is.
I mean, but you guys can probably guess it since we haven't named him yet.
It's
Yami-Bakura.
yeah.
Yeah.
/ evil king thief. What's the name of it?
He's the Thief King Bakura.
/
Zork Necrophage.
Yeah, so we don't know. We just Yami-Bakura.
I mean, they're all different people, but in a way they're kind
It's all
of
the
the same.
sort of same thing. So why did we pick him?
Well, I picked him because as Zork, he was simply the most powerful villain. Even if he wasn't fleshed out or anything, Zork was just the most powerful.
I picked him because he's the most consistent villain in the entire series.
Yeah, I like that part about him too.
He was in everything. In every like iteration of the show, he was doing something, scheming. They every time they thought they beat him, he merely was hiding.
Yeah, that was a very cool part about him, and I kind of liked that you not only that, but you still never knew. Like, you just knew he was just this evil spirit And you knew he was like maybe up something, but it was so easy to get distracted from him.
Yeah.
Because there's always like someone like Pegasus or Marik or whatever who was just kind of like doing the actual
they
thing.
overshadowed him.
Oh, like, but I really like at the end of the Pegasus arc where he just shows up and just takes the eye.
Yeah, that actually was a really cool scene. Even though I guess we didn't get to see him like
Yeah.
take the eye out, but
That must have really hurt.
but yeah, so I mean, I feel like he kind of deserves the #1 spot in his own way. And you could say he was just another evil villain. That's kind of, I guess, a weakness he has.
But I mean, you know what? Wasn't he our evil Yami Yugi? I mean, those two never really.
That's true.
It seems like they always had that air of one of us has to go down. Like they never really could work together. Like they didn't. They never really even knew why they disliked each other, but they did since day one.
Something similar could be said of Yami-Marik, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, because Yami-Marik was interesting. Let's not go back to him.
Yeah. So those are our top 5 sort of favorite or best Yu-Gi-Oh villains. And now that we're done, we'd like to hear from you guys. I know this is
argue, please.
Yeah, this will probably be a nice little debate and comment section.
Even though we said that this is only for the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh, someone's still gonna probably say, why isn't so-and-so from the first season of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah, another little iteration. We'll probably do videos of each of those if you guys want, so that might be cool.
Yeah, we just didn't do one of the whole series in general.
Too hard to.
It's so many.
It was a pain. We tried to. It was not working.
It's too many to mention.
So if you want to see us do some from another season, then give this video a thumbs up. Let us know.
Yeah.
If we get to 300 likes, we'll do it. Anyway, leave your thoughts in the comments. Leave your explanations, and we can't wait to see what you guys have to say because it's a very tough topic to talk about. Like we had a hard time actually ranking these.
Oh, 10 minutes.
I gave up. I gave up when it came time to ranking them.
So that's the video. Subscribe for more, and we'll catch you guys later.
T-Maps out.